3:14 a.m. on a moving train between London and Kent, pound 12,000 in gold vanished without a single guard fired upon. For decades, the official story held firm. A gang of common thieves somehow forced their way into a locked railway carriage, overwhelmed the guards, and made off with a fortune in bullion. Scotland Yard closed the file. Historians repeated it. The narrative seemed airtight until you actually examine what the guards reported that night. I've read the logbook myself. What struck me wasn't the violence. There was none, no gunfire, no bodies. The guards, trained men, armed men, simply reported that the carriage door opened. They saw shadows, then the gold was gone. That detail, small as it seems, unravels everything we thought we knew. The accepted version blamed Edward Agar, a career criminal with a taste for railroad heists. He was caught, tried, convicted, case closed. But Agar's confession raised a question no one in power wanted to answer. How did a man with no inside knowledge of train schedules, no access to the railway depot, and no connections to the guards pull this off alone? The answer was hidden in plain sight. The robbery wasn't a smash and grab, it was something far more sophisticated. It was a job built on trust and betrayal. The real masterminds weren't criminals, they were employees of the railway itself. William Eley and James Burgess. Those names don't ring bells now, but in 1855 they were guards, men with keys, with access, with the authority to move through those carriages at will. They knew the route, they knew the schedules, they knew exactly when the carriage would be isolated and vulnerable. What makes this heist remarkable isn't the theft itself, it's the psychology. Eley and Burgess didn't need violence because they had legitimacy. They could open doors, they could move crates, they could explain their presence. A guard with a key attracts no suspicion. A guard with access is invisible. But here's where the official narrative crumbles completely. If Eley and Burgess were the architects, why was only Agar prosecuted? Why did the railway company, already embarrassed by the theft, accept a conviction that didn't explain how the crime was actually committed? Because conviction required witnesses, and Eley and Burgess were never charged. That's the crack in the wall. That's where the real story bleeds through. The railway had a choice: expose its own employees and admit systematic negligence, or sacrifice a professional thief and move on. They chose the latter. Agar took the fall, and history, trusting the official record, swallowed it whole. For over a century, this robbery was filed under common crime. The real lesson that institutional negligence and inside knowledge are far more dangerous than any lock was never learned. The gold was never fully recovered. Some was found hidden in London. Most of it vanished into the underworld economy of Victorian England. But the real theft, the one that mattered, was the theft of truth. A convenient criminal took the blame. Institutional corruption stayed invisible. What fascinates me now, looking back at the evidence, is how little it took to hide the truth. No conspiracy theorists. No cover-up required. Just a railway company protecting its reputation, a prosecutor accepting the easiest conviction, and a public satisfied with a narrative that made sense on the surface. Agar served time. He was released. He died obscure, his name forever attached to a crime that was far more complex than his role in it. Meanwhile, Eley and Burgess, the men who actually engineered the theft, lived their lives in relative anonymity. One became a publican, the other simply disappeared from the historical record. The Great Gold Robbery of 1855 teaches us something uncomfortable about how history is written. It's not written by the truth, it's written by whoever controls the narrative first. And in 1855, that was an institution desperate to avoid accountability. Today, the railway system has changed, security has evolved, but the fundamental vulnerability remains. Every system is only as secure as the people inside it. Trust is the lock, betrayal is the key. And that lesson, born on a train between London and Kent in 1855, is still being learned and ignored today. Subscribe. Every week we uncover the hidden mechanics behind history's greatest thefts, the ones the official record got wrong.